Today I'm at Broomhead Reservoir, right on the outskirts of Sheffield and next to Brromhill Reservoir, both built around about the same time. Work commenced in 1913, but they were not completed until 1929. And I've come at a time in 2025 when waters appear to be at an all-time low. Hoping to get a glimpse into the past and see some items of interest from days gone by that have not been seen since the reservoir was initially flooded. I believe this reservoir in particular is down to around about 25 to 30% capacity. I'm going to walk around the edge up to the top end because the main feature that I've come to see is an old stone bridge that has not been seen for almost 100 years. Quick look at overhead imagery, you can see the full size of the reservoir when full, the dam wall being on the right hand side. If we take a look at this map from around about 1914, you can see it's just the Ewden beck running through the centre of the map from left to right. It's completely different, isn't it? So the area we're going to look at, I'm going to zoom in. We're going to be looking for Brromhill Mill Bridge. Circled that just now. You can see the road going up away from it. We'll have a little look at that. And other ruins which are believed to be Broomhead Mill. Once a coal mill, I believe the foundations of this are still there to see too, amongst other relics and bits and pieces along the way. Let's get back down there. So with that stone pillar on the right hand side, you can see the highest level tide mark right in centre of shot. I've panned down all the way to the left, look, still no water, and there it is. Gives you an idea of how low it is. So I've safely made it down into the bed of the reservoir, but I'm right at the edge, walking on where all of the stones are beneath my feet, so as not to have a risk of sinking. You see behind me, the water is still quite some distance off. And then the bridge I'm looking for is somewhere just over there in the distance, Brromhill Mill Bridge. And of course that's going to be named after a mill. Broomhead Mill was right next to it. I believe there was also a weir where the mill was. I think that might still be there. The mill has, however, completely vanished, and the remains of the bridge should still be visible right next to it. It's only going to be small, but it's still history, which makes it significant. It's quite an eerie and strange, surreal feeling walking across here. It's bone dry, although I am being careful with my footing. Right, first tree stump of the visit, and the Ewden beck, is that how you pronounce it, is getting very close. A few curious stone remains there. We are probably near the site of the former mill that was around here. But I shall need to locate the bridge, which I think is over there. Then we can confirm where the mill site is and if that was indeed it. Now you can really see from this angle what little water there is actually in the reservoir. I believe the bridge is just over there. It's a curious row of tree stumps. There's one and there's two, and they go in a long line. Look, the third one coming into shot right in the centre, and they continue on quite a way up towards those trees. I bet that's something I'm not going to be able to find on old maps. Let's see if we found this bridge. Right, I've got it. I'm going to turn you around and you can see it for yourself. Nice flow of water as well. So, here we go. There is the old Broomhead Bridge right there. That's brilliant, isn't it? I'm not sure what this stone area would have been, but I'm going to carefully go around here. It's pretty good surface, to be fair. And there it is, look. How about that? That's lovely, isn't it? So it's believed that this has not been seen since 1929. That's way older than me. That is before the Second World War, isn't it? It's so old. You think when it was built, I believe the mill was erected over there, so it possibly was the right location that we found with those stony, rubbly bits. It's run about the 1700s, so this bridge probably, you know, is wide enough, most likely for a horse and cart. So I'm going to get over there at some point, and it's unlikely we're going to find the other side, but we can get a rough idea of how wide it is, can't we? It's a shame you can't see through it, but it's all going to be silted up and very little remaining. What I do find fascinating is you've got to imagine how deep down this curved down. It would have been much wider bridge, much lower bridge, and the river would have passed below it. How deep is this mud and silt that's occurred over almost 100 years, 95 years maybe? It's crazy, isn't it? You just think what the capacity could potentially be like, but they have the reasons for not doing it, don't they? Cost, location of moving the silt, but at least we get to see it today. Who knows when it will come around again. Let's see if I can get over the water and get on top. Trying to keep the wind away from you. It has come across quite sharply at the moment. So directly above it, look, we stood on the bridge, we stood on that archway. Now, how wide do we think this is? Now, a slight indicator could be that if I walk over here, the bed of the reservoir dips down just there. Look, can you see that? Can you see that just there? It could be nothing, but it does it all the way along here and carries on to around about where that bit of a hole is. So are we looking at, you can just see it now, can't you, in dead centre of shot, that dried out section, it slants down, comes across, and we've got the other stone archway just there, look. Now the road itself, that carried on in a straight line right the way up there, and going in the other direction it did a left right and joined on to Mill Lane. So we've got to come back to the bridge at some point, but I'm just curious to know what these three weird metal rods sticking out of the ground up here. There's one there, there's one in the centre of shot there, look, and another one just there. Let's get close up to one of them and look at the rusted state of them. Now, do we believe these were allowing the ground to breathe maybe? I don't know, I'm not clued up on this kind of thing, what these may have been for, but I'm sure somebody must know the answers. So for reference, the bridge is smack bang in the middle of the shot now. Old concrete section just there, look. This is right next to, well, I'm stood on the road. So the bridge is just, I'm going to point to it, ignore the finger, there. The bridge is there, and this is where I said it goes straight up, look. So we're actually on an abandoned road right now, and there's another metallic object sticking out of the ground. Is this some kind of like roadside bollard maybe that's sticking out of the ground, or is it a piece of old railway track from when they built the reservoirs? As with many of the reservoirs that were built in the late 1800s, early 1900s, they did have railways, usually narrow industrial railways, built to transport all the stone up that was needed, all the equipment, and also take the spoil away from any digging out that needed to be done. Now this is really interesting. Some stonework, that's clearly off a bridge or a building, isn't it? It's got a carved out section there. There's an even longer one just there, but this one, in fact there's two of these. That's an ornate bit of stone, isn't it? It's got that curved top to it, and it tapers inwards at one end. The other one is just over here. In fact, there's a few of them. There's that one there, and one that is partially buried just there, look. What would this have been? We are right next to the road again. Potentially some kind of street lamp, or is it another one of those metal posts that we've just seen a trio of? This is where we get to the end of the road, look. So it disappears behind here. Ewden village was situated all over there. It was built pretty much the same as Tin Town, the one that did Howden and Derwent dams and reservoirs, and it was there for quite a few years. Church, shop, bar, lots of huts for people to live in. That was all over there. Fortunately, a fire ripped through the lot and destroyed it all after a few years. Looking at it again on the way back down, it does to me look like a piece of old rail. I'll have a look at the other one too and see if it looks the same. So here's the other one, the other piece of, it is rail, isn't it? That's clearly industrial narrow gauge rail, isn't it? Back down at our bridge again. Fantastic, isn't it? I just love how the water is bypassing what it used to pass below. So pleased to have seen this, and I hope you are too. So I'm going to leave this behind now, and what a sight it's been. Now the mill, that would have been just over there, so pretty much where I picked out at the beginning of the video. So I'm going to follow the course of the Ewden Brook around the edge, and hopefully we'll stand round about where the mill actually was and see if it is the same place that I've looked at previously. Here's the location of the bridge that we're just looking at, Brromhill Mill Bridge, and here's the location of the mill, the coal mill. Now I do feel I walked away from the bridge at a straight line trajectory in the direction of the foundations that I'm about to show you very shortly. Okay, I've come in a dead straight line from our bridge, and turn you around, we've come to this. Now this isn't what we saw earlier with the stone, but curiously there is stone like a perimeter all the way around here, look, and it goes on for quite a substantial distance until we seem to get to like a crevice in the ground. I'm going to get you there, stay with me. But this could have been purposely built just for drainage purposes, dug out like a trench at some point when the reservoir was created. Should that be the case, because I expect after rainfall it just torrents down here. Get across the other side, that sort of like stone line carries on. Could be completely wrong, and it could be just where it's been built up, but the mill was situated in this vicinity here. There is a bit more to look at just over here which could also have had something to do with it. Look at a few weird and wonderful things just here. Look, that is some sort of metal bar stuck in the ground. Now over here it looks like there's some kind of link which may have been from some kind of gate at some time. And here, well, that's certainly another piece of rail, isn't it? That's a piece of railway line just there, a bit of rail. That's right next to that link chain. Now there's something else over here. It looks dry enough to walk on. Possibly another part of what we've just been looking at. And again, rusted to hell, but evidence of a piece of wood just there in the middle. And right down here there's a stone pillar, some kind of gate post probably, potentially there was two of them at one time. And this is around here where the mill was. Now just over there there is also some other ruins which I shall go and look at as well before we head back to the dam. pair of cormorants. Are they just sat there enjoying the day? Definitely the remains of something just here, isn't there? Some kind of wall, perimeter wall of something. Definitely not going down there. You can see that that is just sinkable, isn't it? But yeah, definitely the perimeter of some kind of building. There was another farmhouse around about here, down from where the mill is. The bridge is just over there to the right. So yeah, curiously, more ruins just here, isn't there? So it's been really good, hasn't it? There is still nuggets of history laid around that has basically been buried by the waters for almost 100 years. I'm going to get myself back up onto the main path now and head back towards the dam. Just passing Brromhill Reservoir now. You can clearly see there's some kind of remains there, but look how this is just so barren. Look at that. Absolutely extraordinary. Probably how it used to look a century or more ago. So one final thing to look at. Look, I'm down at Brromhill Dam of Brromhill Reservoir, and there is the overspill for that. And just up there, 3 arches where the water would pass below. Let's go and have a quick look. It's all right, isn't it? Lovely bit of stonework, isn't it? Coming from Brromhill Reservoir. And there it is on the other side. Lovely, deep, substantial width, isn't it? Very, very nice. As I walk across Brromhill Dam, I'm going to bid you farewell. I really do hope you've enjoyed watching this video. I'm going to try and do a few more reservoirs back to the Derwent Valley as well, while we've got low waters before they do fill up again over the winter, I expect. That's what happened in 2022, so there's always a good hope for that happening. But I'm going to come back here and have a look at it when it's all full and see all the overspills in action and do some comparison shots. Thank you to all channel members. Thank you to all Facebook subscribers. If you want to join that, press subscribe on the Facebook page and give that a follow. See you in the very next one. Bye for now.